Hello, and my name's Jordan O'Grand. This is the Wing Chun Qigong channel. Um, I've been asked another question by James, and it is, so have you ever looked into medical Qigong? Well, James, the answer is yes. Yes, I have. Um, Now, I'm not recommending any of these books. I'm just wish to show the study that I've done just for medical Qigong. I have some other healing books over there, but this is specifically medical Qigong. Um, they I've purchased a, you can see, there you go, a three volume pack. And I studied these years ago. I probably spent an hour in the morning and night reading them, taking notes and so forth. Um, and it was really just for my own self-interest. I never thought about going and healing other people using the things I was practicing. Um, I guess much like when I did the eye qigong around that time, it didn't work, and it's only I've added some things in this year and it works. But I'm like, oh, okay. So there was things in the back of my mind like this seems like ridiculous. I think it's just a con, right? So I did have those doubts and fears. So eradicating them and getting empirical results for things working allows me now to progress with that. Do I feel the same about all these things? Mm, Partly. Yeah, I won't lie to you. Um, but then there's a greater portion that I know that it does um, so much. There's so many benefits to it, and so with the things that I potentially can't do or haven't yet fully understood, um, I don't go and cast my vote and say they don't work or they don't do this. I just put it to the side and keep picking away at it. In addition, even though there are parts of that I've been taught, I don't just go and reteach it or it's in this book, because I mean that's like a scam, you know what I mean? And what if it's wrong and you're just propagating that down the chain? So, with that said, I'm just going to go through these books and let you know what's in the course, right? So, this first one here on Chinese medical Qigong, it's volume one and it's about energetic anatomy and physiology. Um, One of the things that's great about this, check this out. These books here are, it's one by Wilhelm and this is by Thomas Cleary. They're a swag of Taoist texts that were written thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, and to read them and try and understand them is very difficult. There's stuff in there that's esoteric and hidden, and there's all these other cultural perspectives, and then there's just the general framework of what they're, everyone's born into their culture and they have their own beliefs in that culture. And they don't need to explain those things because everyone knows because they're part of that culture. And so you can write books and it's got that underlying theme of the culture. But if you're thousands of years late, hundreds of years late in a completely different culture reading those things, very hard to get the messaging. What I loved about the opening of this book is things like this: understanding ancient Chinese metaphysics. Brilliant, right? So there's chapters and chapters of the metaphysics of um, the Taoist tradition, and things like how you have the Tao at the top, which is the divine, then Shen Ling, which is the supernatural spirit, then Shen Jin, which is the eternal soul. Then I'm going to butcher it, but Ji Tan, the will and intent of heaven, Yuan Shen, the original spirit, Shen Ji, the acquired spirit. Then you have down here Shen, which is spirit body, Qi, energetic body, Jing, physical body. So if we have a look at this, the courses I'm teaching are these bottom row here. Um, and to get up higher into these other areas, you need these three courses that I've put together, right? You can't sort of just bung into those areas. There's other some neat pieces in here where he goes through the yin and yang, and then out to the five elements. They also have, yeah, look, they've got chakra work in here, and they've got the dantians. They've got the 12 major meridians, and he would have the eight extra meridians. I'm just flicking through quickly. The other is the esoteric names that are referred to in those other books, which refers to like the palace back there and the mud pill palace and the other thing. They're all parts inside your brain. It's all divulged in there. Um, for me, that was great. With the course itself, as I teach it, I don't, um, each, there are techniques, and those techniques work different meridians, and they result in energetic healing or energetic better rebalancing. Um, do I provide pictures of those sort of things, and so for people can go off and study those as well? Of course I do. So in that regard, yes, I have studied it, and energetic anatomy and physiology is has to be throughout the course, right? Because you need that sort of contextual overlay of why am I moving my body this way? Why am I breathing this way? Why do I have this intent? Etc. All right, let's do the next one. This has energetic alchemy. Yeah, that's for sure, right? We're doing Qigong, Qigong, and Shengon. You need the alchemy. So yes, study that, and it's in the course. Dalian therapy. Uh, Funny thing about that is, yeah, it's in the course. I've been doing it for a long while. I didn't know what it was called for quite a while, and I thought, oh, I need to do this Dao Yin thing, and I'd already been doing it for years. Just didn't know the name. Well, it was named something different. So then the other is healing chi deviations. Um, the Qigong that you're going to get taught, um, it's great that it doesn't lead to what was called, Jiafo Yatmo or Qi deviations. If you have those, the course I have is great at rebalancing you back to those pieces. And the other part is, but I don't do it in such a way, and this is very important, like I'm not going to inspect your tongue, look at your eyes, check your pulse, and then maybe do an energetic overlay and go, well, you're deficient in this and this. Why don't you take these herbs, eat these things, and perform these types of qigong? No, that's something um, that would be best suited that you go and see a traditional Chinese medical doctor or an individual certified in medical Qigong, because that's exactly what they do. I'm basically a step back from that where it's you're self-healing, not, but please note the methodologies that I'm teaching you. It's very simple then that you're like, well, that's how I do it with my own body. Wouldn't I just do that on someone else's body? And it does the same thing. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what it does. So you can really quickly pick up these other medical Qigong courses. Other part here is spirit pathology. Um, oh, he's got the ox herding pictures. Well, that's interesting. That's great. No, we definitely do that in the Shengon course. Mind you, I read this years ago, right? Um, with spirit pathology, not in the degree that he does here. I think with this, they draw talismans and they have all of these different things and da da da. No, I don't give away talismans. What I do have is simply an ancient mantra, um, two of them, one from an ancient Buddha and one from another one. And they're known to energetically awaken you as well as protect you and your family. So um, that's just something I give away. Don't, yeah, there's someone else I met who gave that away, and I used to practice that quite a lot. Um, does it work? I don't know. Like nothing's ever happened to me or my family in a drastic way, and maybe the hundreds of thousands of little mantras that I did has something to do with that. One of the things I do know with it is it builds a hell of a concentration. So that's kind of why it's in the course. To believe or not believe in the other aspects, that comes down to your experience more than having to try and believe in it. All right, and then there's volume three, developing intuitive and perceptual awareness. 100%. This is the part of the Shengon course. It's such a necessity, and if you really get on that train, you'll notice that everything else uplifts quite dramatically. He's got energetic foundations. 100%, we haven't, we're going to provide that work. He has a whole bunch of other things in here where he goes through. Oh, well, we do that as well. How to position your hands to manipulate energy or generate a certain type of energy. Um, he gets heavily into crystals. I don't necessarily do that. I'll just probably can tell you now. You want to energize a crystal, be your own guest. Go ahead and do it. You'll have the mechanisms to be able to energize different stuff, right? So, if you want to do that with crystals or whatever it may be, go hell for leather. Um, then there's treatment principles in this book and clinical applications. As I've mentioned before, um, I'm not going to be getting into clinical work, and well, not right now. Maybe I'll change my mind in the future. Um, and so I don't teach. Well, this would be crazy. I don't teach those things. But as I mentioned before, you would be in a great position that if you wanted to go on and become clinical in medical Qigong, yeah, man, you'd have a fantastic footing and foundation from doing this training because it covers all of the major, and I don't know if there are any missed, but they clearly work, Jingong aspects, Qigong aspects, and Shengong aspects. And since you have all of those foundations, you can roll that up so it's a practice that you can do every day. And it incorporates all of them. And it doesn't have to take too much time. And with that, let's say, because it's going to build up your Jing, it's going to rebalance all your energies so you become more harmonious, so to speak. Um, and then if you were to go into this field, it can be quite draining because you're dealing with sick people um, and I wouldn't be encouraging that you use your own energy to cleanse and heal others. You'd be using the universal energy. And that's exactly the energy that we use when we do our own Qigong. And so rather than using that to bless your own body, you could use it for other parties. Yes, I've been taught this. I have books on that. It is in those areas. But I've never had the drive to perform that on another person. Um, and me personally, there's something I wish to accomplish first. And once I achieve that level, I would say I would be in a much heightened and better position that it would allow me to take on these things from a perspective of, just like with the eye work I told you about. I've been doing the eye work. I got it empirically tested. It's improving. I know it's the real deal, you know? With this type of work, how do you empirically test it? And uh, how do you know you're not kidding yourself by doing certain things, right? And so by achieving that accomplishment, it would heighten the energetic and the perceptual awareness to a different degree that's already in place right now. Um, that it would probably give me that level that I'm looking for to go, oh, okay. Um, but yeah, it's not something I'm driving for. My focus is, as I mentioned, on the um, Qigong and Neigong aspects of the art. And yeah, it contains medical Qigong, it contains spiritual Qigong, and it contains martial Qigong. All right. And I'll be very clear with people which one's which so they can work in those areas. And so this would be more like a primer for medical Qigong because it's something that can be your life's work. That's how huge this course is, right? Because somebody who does martial arts, it can be their life's work. And if you're a monk, your meditation is your life's work, right? And these components are um, laid out in this course. It's up to you which one you're drawn to and which one you love, but I do give all of them a good crack. And then later on, when we get into um, the other courses that are specified, clearly there's a specialization with the Wing Chun martial art and taking that Jing Qi Shen along for the ride through the martial art. And I also have the same thing that takes you through with the meditative work and so forth. The healing work, it's not something that I have courses to do. I would recommend that you check out other people who do medical Qigong to that level if you already have these pieces that I've spoken of. If not, yeah, like these things that I've just mentioned in this video would be hugely beneficial for you. Um, and Great. Hopefully that's answered the question. More than likely you've got some more. And if you made it this far, feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you.